What's going on YouTube? It's your boy ATM back again with another video. In today's video, I kind of want to start to gear this channel away from like the relationship and stuff like that to more self-improvement, but also finances. As someone who works a 9 to 5, I think we all can relate on the economy, our finances, and kind of wanting to maybe not necessarily be entrepreneurs or anything like that, but we want to have financial freedom. And as someone who's working towards that, uh, I think the topic of this video needs to be talked about and discussed more widely. And I don't mean in terms of letting everyone know all your business, right? I've made a video before. You can check it out on my channel. I can leave a picture of it or here or a link down below, whichever one I do. Where I kind of discuss my plans for the rest of this year, like paying some debts off and working on some credit cards and stuff like that, which I'm actively working on. At the making of this video, I have um, next month I should have 1 to 2 of the credit cards done. But I wanted to make this video about having open and honest conversations about talking about finances, talking about money, and not just leaving it to the people who are already wealthy or already people on on YouTube who have thousands of subscribers or anything like that. Leaving it just to them to kind of get the 9 to 5 people like myself and you who are watching to get to that point. Not just leaving it to them, but having wanted to make this channel kind of someone working towards that as well. Um, I think it's important for us as a collective to have that conversation to talk about finances when it comes to talking about it with your family, talking about it with your friends, and I think everyone is so guarded talking about their finances because of fear of being judged or fear of being laughed at, fear for being poor or having insane credit card debt or having insane car loan debt, a whole list of things that people discuss. Like I've seen on TikTok, I've seen it on YouTube, and some people would discuss it, but it's not widely discussed. Of In terms of being like poor or lower class up until middle class to upper middle class. So a lot of people kind of keep that stuff to wraps. And I understand for privacy reasons, if let's say you or someone making 180K debt free, it's kind of hard for you to have that conversation with someone who's making 35,000 and 150K debt, right? um, because those people may envy you. They may, they can think all what different stuff that they want to think. But I always think it's important to kind of have those open and honest conversations. And I have no problem talking about finances with friends or family or even YouTube or whatever, or even people I don't know because I'm very open with what I do. I don't tell all my stuff, of course, but I think it's important to have those conversations. And I wanted to kind of leave the rest of this video with uh, what I started to do, and I put it in the other video as well. I go more in depth, but I think it's just, if you don't know how much you're making every month, um, where your money is going, uh, the bill by bill, and how much you're spending or how much you can estimate. Really, you should know how much you're spending on a check by check basis. You're always going to be on the losing end um, of uh, of financial freedom, right? As someone I can tell you, I make right now at the current making of this video. God willing, I make more. Um, I make around gross 61,000. Um, I net per check, and I get 2 checks a month. Basically, you could say 1,800, but to round it off, but I'm like $7 to $8 short. But I would say 1,800 on short, and this is not working any overtime. I haven't worked overtime for a little while, but I'll eventually go back to working overtime. But um, I would say just I know for offhand that that is kind of where I'm starting, and I think for you to know what your check is, and then know what your bills are per check, like how much I have too. Um, it's over on the other wall, but I don't really want to pan the camera. It shows kind of in depth of my two checks. I have a first of the month, really the end of the month check, which is basically rent. Um, Rent, I can tell you, just rent, gas, gym membership, $100 to $150 for food. Um, and then my other check has everything else, right? And I know how much over I have per check um, at the end of paying all the bills, right? So I think this is important to discuss with everyone. Is getting more knowledgeable about your finances. Stop sticking your head in the sand and just thinking it's going to go away when it's not. Getting your debt uh, regulated and knowing where a lot of your overhead is, or where your a lot of your debt is or money's going, and to what bills and what debt. And start to tackle, there's two different methods from what I understand. There's like the avalanche, um, or the snowball method, where snowball is you kind of just pick the smallest debt, and then over time you start to see smaller wins, which I think a lot of people, the average amount of individuals, it would make more sense to do. And then the avalanche is kind of like going with the highest interest. You're not going to see much of a you're not going to see much of a I would the term I would use is investment, right? You're not going to see much of an investment um, when you're doing the avalanche, because you're doing the highest interest. You're paying that off, so it doesn't look great for motivation. But if you're more disciplined and you hold yourself to a higher standard, I would say the avalanche is probably a better method for you. I've done the both, um, per se, but like the avalanche, I mean the snowball has worked for me, but it depends, right? Because the other thing that I would say is it depends on your income, like I was saying, your debts or your bills, your extra debt you have, student loans, car loan, blah blah blah, or whatever, the IRS or whatever you have outside of your normal bills or reoccurring bills, I should say. And then if you have kids or not, if you have a husband or if you have a wife or um, girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever it may be, family, you may cater to some of them. Um, and we all have our wants rather than our needs. But yeah, I would just say, because this sounds like it's gonna be a little too long. Probably not gonna really edit too much of this, but um, I think it's important to kind of go through that. And then later in another video, I will make a different video corresponding to this one. But I think it's important to have our conversations talking about finances, talking about your bills, talking about how you're trying to actively get out of uh, being in debt. Um, and let me know in the comments below what you are doing or what you want to do, and over time, how you plan to do it, and kind of hold yourself to a higher standard now that you know that you want to be more accountable and not just be someone who sticks their head in the sand and hopes everything goes away, which in reality it's not going to. But ATM fam, I wish y'all all the best. Continue to strive to be better. Continue to move forward in life and work on your finances, as I will make updates on working on mine. But I wish you all the best, and ATM fam, I'm signing out. Peace.